Milestone 1, Task 2, or Circle 2 analysis. Let me start by showing you a contact sheet, and these are some of the things I'll be discussing. On the contact sheet, we have 9 images. That's to make them as large as possible. So I've alternated them with horizontal and vertical each line. Also, note that in order to do that, there's no clicking onto zoom to fill, rotate to fit, or repeat one per page. So these areas remain unclicked. So you get full frame images as shot. And in this list, it shows you how to set the metadata. So let's go in a little bit further into this particular image. And we can see that I have the page layout here is still one vertical with a vertical page orientation and 2 horizontals on each line. It would be in reverse if we did it the other way. So we go into save it. We have photo info, and that's how you come up with this box. It's a text template editor, so everything can be added. You want your image number for sequential numbering. The date, of course, should be actually month, day, and year, not just the year. Exposure will give you the shutter speed and the aperture, and then the ISO, and that's what you click, and then it goes underneath each image. So that's how you get the metadata on each picture. For this assignment, this will be covers for a book titled 50 States of Wonder, and it's about all the 50 states. So kind of from a viewpoint, if you're coming from another country, what would you want to visit? It should be pretty generic, however, not something like the Empire State Building or the like the Arch in St. Louis, but certain things that might give a different or broader view, so not just one city or one state. You should focus on your technique on these, using your camera settings, of course, which are now all manual. RAW, your camera needs to be set on RAW to get all of the tonal variety, and once you do that, you'll never go back to using anything but manual and RAW for your camera. You also will be shooting half of your images horizontally and half of them vertically. You're going to be taking a lot of opportunities in this to explore different possibilities, but remember that you are to be doing the highest quality of work. All work that is submitted needs to be brand new work or current work. And that is, for all of your assignments, that's what is expected. Your final selections are full page, and if it's a horizontal and you have vertical page orientation, you can make it vertical, and I'll just rotate that particular image. So make it full page. And then you're to describe what you're doing, how you're using the elements and principles of design. So all of the material that I've given at the top of the posts, the lectures in the classroom and the textbook, I should see that there is some use of that particular imagery and ideas that you have studied for this particular task. So Brittany, this is quite an elegant image, interesting from the night point of view. So I want to point out a couple of things. You could be making this full page, and I can rotate it. So from now on, just do it full page. Also, because now I'll enlarge it so we can look at it. What I'm seeing is it's kind of interesting, but we're losing a lot of detail. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. I've increased the exposure by 1 stop. If you must have used a tripod in the first place. And then I also opened the added highlight detail. That brought back some of the detail that was blown out on the whites. You've got such a wide variety of lighting in this. I opened the shadows up, brought the clouds back, and then added blacks back into the image. So we go from this image to this one, and I think it has a lot more punch to it. Same thing on this one. You have these are good usable images. Kind of an interesting part of the day, but I can hardly see what's in this picture. It's just all black. So what have I done? I've changed a few things here. So let's go back up here. I've added about 25% more yellow back into the image. Night pictures will have a tendency to turn blue. And I also took some of the red out. I added some green back in. So, this is all things you need to play with your levers in Lightroom. So here, the exposure, I've added a stop again. You're about a stop under in both of them. Opened up the highlights, opened up the shadows wide open, added whites, and then put blacks back in. So we go from this image, where I can see almost no detail, to this one where I can actually see the trestle bridge, which is so interesting in this image, and the light formation. Also on this one I added vibrance. Now it's not saturation, it's vibrance, about 25%, to just increase the colors a bit. The colors that are not as saturated as the other ones. So this is go from this image to this image. I think it's much stronger. So I do expect you to send that back with those particular corrections. Let's look at your contact sheet. And I had just shown you how to set it up, so it would work a lot better if it was set up that way. Your second sheet does have verticals with the horizontal. So you have big spaces in between. Those could be filled up so that these pictures are large. That's the whole point of having 9 on the page, is to have large images. And you have most of your pictures are at night. I would like to see you do a little bit more daytime. I think for the travel book, it works all right. You have a variety of vertical and horizontal. I would like to see sequential numbering, so I could talk to you about specific images. I think your choices are good, and so just send them back with some of the corrections so that you take some ownership of that particular assignment. For your next 30 images, continue to work. Maybe take some daylight pictures. Sunny day, early morning, late afternoon, or after 4 in the afternoon, where the light is at an angle and it's a little bit more golden. So use your light and think of some more ideas. And Ashley, I think you have some start of some great ideas for a cover of a book, giving some pictures of some water and recreational areas. We do have a major issue with it's a technical thing, and it's very easy to correct, so I want to see you doing that. So let's just go over a couple of the points that I was going to make. So here, let's look at your contact sheet. You clicked the fill button when you generated the contact sheet. So all of your images are exactly the same size, and the cameras or the computer is cropping them. I really don't want you to do that, because you won't see it full frame. And as we go back, let me just show you again. This is full frame images. Do not have these areas clicked when you're generating your contact sheet, or you're going to end up with the images like this. So this is an example of it. Also, I'd like to see sequential numbering on each image so I could talk to you about it. Looks like your ISO is good. Some of your images look like they would be good, but I can't see them because they're cropped. And the same thing it was set for is when you did your selection. So you need to resubmit this so you have your own images cropped, and I can see full frame images. So that's the main thing right now, and then sequential numbering. Also take more images, but I need to be able to see them in your contact sheets and in the work that you submit. You'll have 30 more images to show for 30 from both assignments, so that's 60 images for your submission for milestone 1. And Peter, these are some of your two of your selections. Each selection should be full page. There's not really much I can show you on these, and they do need some correction because they're so small. And when I fix one, the other one, so this one might be better with some adjustments, opening up the exposure, highlights, shadows, blacks. But the other one goes out. So you need to send those so that they're full page. Let's look at your contact sheet. You're using your camera on automatic. You must use manual settings on your camera. And look at the way I've set up the contact sheets with vertical and horizontal. Also, I want to see all images on your contact sheet with no cropping. You're doing post-production work on these assignments. And there's just way too many different things I need to have. Your full date of capture on these. All images must be new. And probably about 4 or 5 different places that you're taking pictures. So you really need to resubmit that with full date of capture. Be sure you're shooting on manual settings, and absolutely no cropping or no post-production on your contact sheets with full frame images so that we can export. You'll need 30 more images. Please follow all those directives for your next set of imagery. And Olivia, I'm looking at your imagery. You did not send any selections in. I would like to see sequential numbering on your images so I can discuss them a bit with you. You do have some kind of interesting subjects to work with the water. Probably need some post-production techniques to bring that out, bring the sky details out, and the rest of it. I do need date of capture on each one of your images. And you have quite a few from the same type of location. You do have your vertical and horizontal. Be sure to set up your contact sheet as I have recommended. The one with the red barn is kind of interesting. But I have to see the date of capture. Some of these you need to be sure also that your camera is on manual setting and that your ISO is 400 or below. But you do need the selections on your pictures. So you need date of capture, selections. Also need 30 more images. These are all new images. Everything must be new for this class. And Beth, you've taken quite a few images that are outside, and you probably need more images. You need better lighting. I can fix this to a point. Okay, first of all, let's do this full page, which means it would be on its side. I can rotate it, so I'll enlarge it, and then even after I bring this picture back a little bit in post-production, I'd still need to level it. It's not leveled. You need to level your tripod when you use it. And then, so that would level this particular image so it's straight. I added a lot of exposure. It's like 2 stops underexposed. Opened the shadows and added blacks back into it to get some of the details. So we go from this image to the one that you just saw. Then this one, the same thing. We have to add exposure. It's got 2 exposures going on, so I need open the highlights and open the shadows. But you've got this big shadow coming in, and it's on a lot of your pictures, so it's you standing in front of the light, or something is. And I see that in a lot of these images. So these really need the contact sheet would be fine if you had another vertical in the center of it. You're also missing, should have 30 images. So you need to get out in the daytime to take your pictures. As you can see, you're standing in front of the light in a lot of these. Those should be totally, I shouldn't even be able to see those in a contact sheet. You are to take out, make enough images that the ones you send in do not have you standing in the picture. Plus, it's way too dark. So you need to reshoot this part of it. Also, ISO of 400 and using a tripod and a level with your tripod. So please retake these with better lighting, interesting subject matter, and not standing in front of the light for your particular imagery. And then you'll need 60 images, 60 new images for your assignment for milestone 1. And more detail in your writing about this. And Morgan, you have 2 horizontals. I should see 1 vertical image and 1 horizontal. This particular image is kind of interesting, but you took it in the dark, and remember, photography is light. And then also I like it full page. So you can put, if it's a vertical page orientation, have it vertical. I'll rotate it just to keep the image as big as possible. And this is some of the things I will recommend for you to do. So the color temperature is off. I've added some yellow back into the image. That time of the day everything goes blue, and also some reds. Added a whole stop to your exposure. Add increased highlight detail, opened shadows, added whites, and then put blacks back into the image. So we go from that image to this image, and which works a lot better. Same thing with this one. It should be full page. And again, added exposure. Same thing with the white balance. Everything is the same. Adding a stop, increasing highlight, shadows, adding whites, and putting blacks back into the image. So you have cloud detail and can see the entire image. Now you need to take half of your image as vertical and horizontal, which you did, of each particular setting. So as you could remember, I showed you at the beginning how to do your contact sheet so that some of these images are larger. The whole point is that we can get these images as large as possible, at least some of them, so that we can. All of these are taken too late at night. You need to get, for your next 30, you need to take pictures when there's proper lighting, and then also do the proper amount of work to get your exposures in post-production to be usable. So you've got some work ahead of you. Let's look at your exposures. You're using not using manual, you need to use a manual camera setting. And also I'd like to have sequential numbering so I can talk to you specifically about certain images. So a good start, some interesting information, but we need a little bit more to go on. So please please resubmit this in your milestone 1 with corrections and also your new images. But be sure that camera is set to manual. Everything is manual, including using Camera Raw files. And that will conclude Milestone 1, Task 2, or Circle 2 analysis.